Entrepreneurship can be a very rocky place. It can be like the ocean during a storm, tumultuous, and it requires nerves of steel, nerves as stern as Christ's when he rebuked the wind and told the sea, "Peace, be still." The entrepreneur needs to possess emotional depth, emotional strength, and emotional stamina, particularly during a crisis situation. Typical crisis situations that the entrepreneur will face are such as pandemics, remember COVID-19, and other health scares, legal battles, floods, droughts, heavy rains, fire, extortion, fraud, data leaks, data thefts, scandals, robbery, and cyber attacks. Internet connection problems can also serve as crisis situations, but basically, crisis situations are such as technological crisis situations, mechanical failures, or any electrical failures. During a crisis situation, when everyone is panicking, the entrepreneur needs to be calm. The entrepreneur needs to assess the situation and come up with a strategy to navigate out of that situation. Often, the person who is able to strategize at that point is the emotionally calm person. A crisis situation is overcome by a person who is not easily overwhelmed. Leadership is often called into the playing field when a crisis hits, and so the entrepreneur must be ready to demonstrate impeccable mastery at this point. Because when we master our emotions, particularly in a crisis situation, we give others courage and believe that all will be well. We demonstrate leadership. Gaining emotional strength is tough. The journey to mastering emotional intelligence will be one of the most gruesome journeys you will ever undertake, if you choose to take it. However, every good leader, every good entrepreneur must take this journey. This is how you gain emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not static. You can gain it with practice and awareness, and you can lose it with neglect and negligence. Here are the strategies to gaining emotional strength and emotional intelligence. 1. Do not wallow too much in the misery of the situation. As an entrepreneur, when crisis hits, you do not run away to hide in your office. Acknowledge the situation, feel the full impact of it, the trauma, the disillusionment, the negative feedback that comes with it. Take all that in. You weigh and assess the consequences. Study where you are as a result of the occurrence, and then breathe. Take a step back. Pull yourself out of the moment. Take a higher view and analyze the situation on a timeline. This is where you look at what has happened, the past, what is happening, the present, and what is most likely to happen, the possible future. Once you have taken this timeline journey, look at ways to position yourself strategically to all the possible future outcomes. However, this you can only do if you learn to detach emotionally from the situation. And actually, the process itself is how you detach from the situation. The second strategy on how to develop emotional strength is to tackle your own private emotional battles head on. To gain strength, you have to keep exercising your muscles. You have to constantly put them in use. Emotional intelligence works just like your muscles. When situations in your private life get tough, when your family, friends, and acquaintances give you problems and challenges to overcome, how you handle those challenges determine your emotional strength. How you handle your own private life plays out in how you handle your professional life. When troubles come your way, you have to deal with them head on. Do not avoid conflict. Tackle it. Have those tough conversations with friends and family. Do not be afraid to move away from people who do not understand and are in conflict with your mission, vision, and purpose. The third strategy is to rise above the negative emotions of others. Rise above the fray. When tempers flare and emotional strain becomes visible in others, you must remain level-headed. You must have your head above the water. Do not get sucked into their emotional battles. Yes, feel them, empathize, sympathize, but do not identify with them. Rise above. Be resilient. Resist the temptation to feel as others feel, more so in professional settings. You are only allowed to feel as others feel with your spouse, and even then, only for a while. Only for as long as is necessary, and only for certain situations. Other than that, keep your own counsel when it comes to emotions. Show leadership. People trust those who display temperament. They might get angry at you and try to bring you down to their emotional level, but resist. They will respect and trust you for it. You will feel secure to them and you will become their pillar of strength. The fourth strategy, do not be led by emotions. Be led by your goals, mission, and life purpose. To maintain and sustain emotional strength when things get tough, you have to be driven by a bigger factor than the tough situation you are going through. When you know the reason why you must endure, you will endure. When your problems, no matter how challenging, do not compare to the dream you are pursuing, you will keep moving forward. When you know where you are going, nothing can stop you. Things might deter you, slow you down, cause you to change direction, but believe me, when the fire to reach your goal still burns, you will keep pushing. Nothing motivates more than our envisioned future. Keep it strong and think about it every day. Focus on your own dreams. The fifth strategy, know yourself and become self aware. This is perhaps the most important point on the list. With this mastered, half the battle is already won. When you understand yourself, your moods, your emotions, when, how, and where you experience them, you are better able to regulate yourself. Knowing yourself requires that you get familiar with your strengths and weaknesses. It requires that you know what other people know about you and constantly learn what they know about you, which you don't know about yourself. Becoming self aware requires that you be brutally honest to yourself about your shortcomings and work on overcoming them. It also requires that you force your dark side, your ego, and bring it under the control of your will. Self awareness is about knowing yourself and how you react to situations. It is about self control. When you know yourself, you are less likely to fall under the control of others without your consent. Being self aware is about being conscious of your actions and the consequences thereof. It is about taking control of your own life and the responsibility of directing it. Become self aware. There you have it. 5 points on how to gain emotional strength as a leader, an entrepreneur. Come back to this video in the future and compare where you are then compared to now and check how your life has changed as a result of applying these principles. Leave a comment if any of this has caused you to pause and look at your life. Now that you have the 5 principles to cultivate emotional strength, you need to raise your consciousness and be better aware of your environment. Being aware of your environment will help you apply the 5 principles and grow your emotional intelligence. To raise your environmental awareness, you must first pay attention. Look around. Take everything in. Be one with your surroundings. Feel the different energies emitted by the surroundings, by the people, animals, and things in that environment. You can do this inside as well as outside in nature. Train yourself to perceive all things. The second thing you should do to be better aware of the environment is to focus without. Focus more on what is happening outside of you in the environment. Take yourself out of the equation and experience the environment without placing your judgment on it. See those in the environment as they want to be perceived. See what people want to do and what they want to project. The third thing is to be objective, not subjective. Do not judge when you are observing. Only observe and do it without coloring it with your own reality. Force yourself to detach and only perceive what people project. Give others the space to be themselves and only place judgment on that. One more thing, accept that other times you will get it wrong as you are still growing your perceptive senses. Don't be too harsh on yourself, but keep growing your skills of awareness. Remember, being aware helps you better control your emotions and ultimately the situation. There you have it, entrepreneur. 5 principles on growing your emotional intelligence and emotional strength. And